All right, now I think this is where, like, on TV they point. It's like 5, 4, 3, and then you don't say 2 or 1.
Correct.
And you don't say it because why? Because you don't want to.
You want to affect the sound.
You don't want to have any of your sound over. All right, let me try that. Because I don't want to over.
Is that how we're starting now?
Yeah, we should start that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just this time.
Wait, have we started?
Just this time.
Yeah, no, we're starting.
Oh, we
We're
started.
not building an
yeah.
expectation that we're going to do this again next time.
No, I don't know, but I always wanted to try it.
All right, well, let's see.
All right, so it's
I hope it's everything that you want it to be.
We're trying not to step
Lives
on
up
the
to you.
audio. That's what it's called,
Yeah.
right?
right. So I can't. Right. So when I get to 2 and 1,
Shut it.
I'm not saying anything, and that's your cue to talk.
Okay.
All right. So I'm
But
saying
not on 2 or 1.
not on 2 or 1.
Wait, who?
After 1.
Ben or I?
Either of us.
Okay.
Do you guys want to choose?
No.
Let's just see what happens.
Let's go.
I have a feeling Ben's going to talk first.
You're also not allowed to cough.
He's a talker.
You can't cough.
Doesn't
Right
mean
there.
that means get closer to the mic.
By the way, you can't cough or sneeze. You have to edit those things out. I don't know why you have to edit those things out. Anyways,
That's a choice.
in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back.
That was good. That was good. It's good to be
Right there.
back.
I think that worked. I mean,
And you said I was going to be the one to talk.
I know. Well, what you would have been had I not said that.
Why?
And then
Why
when I
would-
said
why
it,
would
There was a moment where you were both looking at each other and
Yeah.
unsure.
I was like, well, I was being accused of being the first to talk, and I'm not going to be the first to talk this time. So,
So Mitch did it.
Good on you,
Congratulations.
Mitch.
okay,
Good job,
all right.
Mitch.
Okay, I'm
Good job.
sorry.
no, it's okay.
No,
I mean,
that was
I'm not
accusatory.
Good
I'm
job.
sorry.
A little bit.
I know.
What are we going to talk about this week?
It's a really good question. We should probably cue the theme
Oh
music.
my God.
Let's cue the
I
theme
mean,
music.
Yeah, let's do it. Just dive in. And we're back again.
It's stereo.
I love how that works.
That's good.
Mitch, how are you doing this week?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah?
a little hot in here right now, but other than that, it's good. It's been a crazy week.
What do you mean you're hot in here?
That's only not.
Oh, like you mean temperature-wise?
temperature-wise.
In the room that we're in.
It's a little warm in here, no?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, a little.
You know what it is? No, I'll tell you exactly.
Because
what
you're
it is.
excited.
No, it's not because I'm excited. It's because I busted my butt setting up this room for you guys, setting everything up. That's what it was.
Well, I appreciate that.
You know what I mean? It was a lot of work.
Here's the thing.
You
At
got the
some
right
point,
room for it.
at some point, there'll be a sponsor or a like Spotify will come in or iHeartRadio, and they'll be like, "Listen, just it's time to leave Mitch's room. Like, just come on
I
in."
mean, they got like a booth for us.
They have a whole booth. Like, we're next door to like who's at any of these places? I don't know.
Dax?
Does Dax Shepard do?
No, he's in his garage, right? Yeah, he's in his garage.
Oh,
As are we in your garage.
That's true. You
That
know
has
what?
been since converted into a
maybe
living
we
space.
maybe we shouldn't mess with it.
We shouldn't move at all.
I
yeah,
think
let's
we
stay
should
in
stay
space.
here.
Okay,
This is good. Can you give people a visual, Mitch, of when you're looking around this amazing production studio that we're in? What are some of the few things that you're looking at?
Well, it's a renovated garage.
Mm-hmm.
What are those beds called right there that attach to the wall?
Murphy bed.
Murphy bed. We got a Murphy bed.
That's where it comes out of the wall.
Yeah,
Okay.
comes out of the wall.
Yeah.
We've got some of Owen's. What are these lights called?
What are those called?
What are they called? The that all the kids have now, right?
The LED lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got those going.
It's
One
like-
side's green, one side's blue, which is a little odd. I think they're shorting out, but
Ready for a rave.
Do you have a popcorn bowl?
we've got a popcorn bowl.
We do have a
We
popcorn
do.
bowl.
I think we should see what's in the popcorn
That
bowl.
was a good transition.
Yeah.
That's like just stop telling me what's
There's
in the room.
only so much garage.
Just-
He's like,
living room talk. we can
Mitch's
have.
home decor explanation is not working. Let's go.
But by the way, besides the blankets, what is this thing called behind you that you and Ben have talked about?
The 1-2 fit.
The 1-2 fit. Are we going to talk about that someday?
Is that going to be a sponsor?
I don't know. We'll have to reach into the bowl and find out.
I don't know, but we should introduce ourselves, right? We know Mitch is here,
Right. And this is his garage,
and this is this is his
which is now a
garage,
living room.
which is now a living room,
I'm Ben.
and I'm Paul, and we welcome everybody who is here again this week.
Right. Thank you for everyone who's been listening so far. We appreciate your patronage and your ears. As you know, if you've listened, you know how we work here. If you've never listened before, we'll tell you how it works. We have a popcorn bowl full of little topics that we've all written down on little slips of paper that one of us will reach in and pull out that will decide what is our topic of the day. And it'll be what we are talking about.
Wow,
That was a good.
you
that was
practiced
good.
that in the mirror this morning,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit.
A little bit.
That's pretty solid. Now let's set the table real quick.
Yes, go ahead.
we're a couple of podcasts in. We're not going to say how many because we're not going to sort of get lost in that. But we have not picked any of my choices yet. Okay, none.
I think today's the day. I've said it before. I'll say it again.
Okay, let's see what we got.
All right, it's Paul, and it's my week to pick. This is very exciting. Who picked the first time? Was that me?
I think I did.
It was you.
Was it me?
Yeah.
All right. every week we add to this bowl, so it's like you don't know what you're getting. I'm gonna reach in. I've got a piece of paper. What happens if you pick your own? Is that
It's fine.
bad?
Oh my God.
Uh-oh. I have a bad feeling it's another one of mine.
No, it's one of mine.
Oh.
It's one of mine.
Oh, good.
I don't know how much
Sorry, Mitch.
I don't know.
I mean, this is absurd.
The next one. I'll pick the next one. I bet it'll be yours.
It'd be good.
I do not know how much mileage we're going to get out of this one. But this is something that for my entire life, I don't understand.
Oh.
I don't understand where this is a saying that people use. I don't understand where it comes from, how it makes any mathematical sense. I'm about to okay, here's the phrase.
Wait, it's okay, hold on. There's some context clues right there.
Yeah.
It's a phrase, it's a statement people say that has a mathematical component to it.
There is literally a math problem in the midst of this saying. This is a saying that I believe people probably more in like the 60s through the 80s said. It is a phrase that I once was an intern at a radio station, not the one that I talked about last time. Like when I was in high school, I actually would get up at 4:30 in the morning and go work in the news department of a top 40 radio station in the Bay Area.
Okay.
And the news guy used to say this all the time. And it's not just a news phrase. I'm just going to tell you what the fucking phrase is.
Can I guess what it is?
Sure.
Is it 6 of one, half a dozen of another? Oh my God. Really?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
It is. Okay, so the phrase is 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Mitch, have you ever heard this saying?
I have, yes.
This to me makes zero sense.
It makes all the sense.
Okay, this is why it's a perfect debate.
This is going to be a very short conversation.
Do you think it's going to be very short?
Well, maybe not, hopefully.
Okay, so for people who don't know, like when it basically means like it doesn't matter. This or that are the same thing. 6 of one or half a dozen of another.
Right.
What's the one? 6 of what?
Anything.
No, but what? Give me put something in there.
1 equals X.
Okay, 6 of
anything. Eggs, apples, oranges.
Okay, 6 eggs.
Bananas.
Okay, go ahead. 6 eggs
versus a dozen eggs.
That's
half a dozen of an eggs. Half a dozen eggs. Sorry. Maybe this is more confusing than I thought. But no. Half a dozen eggs is the same thing as 6 eggs. 6 of one, half a dozen of another.
I mean, it's a little bit like, oh man, God, this is going to go south very quickly. It's a little bit like tomato, right? Like you can you can say it this way or you can say it that way. That's what I think the expression means.
Yes.
But can you?
I think you can.
Don't you think if you say tomato, people are going to look at you and think about you in a certain way?
So if you said to me, I've got, how many you got over there? I've got half a dozen. I'd look at you askance and go, he's that guy. He's the half a dozen guy. As opposed to, I've got 6. And I'm gonna give some sort of judgment on you because of that?
I'm saying, listen, by the way, if I met anybody that, like, how do you say it? Tomato?
I say tomato.
What do you say, Ben?
Tomato.
Okay, exactly. If you met someone who said tomato, would you not kind of be like, this is like the Great Poupon person. Like, do you really?
You mean the one that pulls up in the Rolls Royce at the traffic light?
Yeah, like what are you trying to pull, right? Same thing, by the way. How do you say this word, Mitch? I'm going to go Mitch first. Caramel.
Oh.
How do you say that?
Caramel.
How do you say that?
Same.
Me too. Now, if you met someone that says caramel, do you judge this person?
It might be regional. I mean, look, tomato certainly is I think a regional pronunciation of a word.
Or is it regional pronunciation of a word, or is it just someone says it, uses the expression to make the point of it's one or the other? Does that make sense? Or does someone add, or does
but you're saying like if someone's talking about like, so what'd you put in that salad? Oh, I put some lettuce, I put tomato.
Don't you judge that person? What do you think about that person?
Why are you so judgmental?
I'm just saying, like
I know what you mean, though. You're right.
You judge that that person's trying too hard.
Yeah.
Person that says caramel, I mean, put that aside. Potato. If someone said Po-tah-to, would you like?
Where are they from? If they're from a place that speaks
I
like
don't think it matters.
I believe there's an entire country that talks that way.
If
like
you work
England.
with somebody, Ben is in the writer's room with you, and every time they're pitching something, they're pitching ideas. When tomato or potato comes up, they say potato or tomato. Are you talking about these people behind their back? Don't you go home and tell a story? And
I mean, that might be story. I'm not going to talk about them behind their back, but
would you say something to them directly?
I think you'd say something to them directly at the moment.
what, like an intervention?
I think you'd say, "What did you just say?" I think that's what you'd say.
And let's play it out.
And then they would say,
"Yes, I said it said potato."
And I would say, "That's not how you say that."
but what if it is?
Well, what if it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other? Is it?
It is.
Then it shuts the whole conversation down.
This is my point. They're not the same. I don't think potato is the same as potato. I don't think tomato is the same as tomato. And 6 of one, half a dozen does not make any sense. Not to me.
I mean, I don't know if I agree, but okay.
I get the math of it. It does make sense to me. I don't understand why you would need to say it. You could just say this or that or either or. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just a...
Do you know anybody that uses that phrase?
No. But I've heard the phrase before.
If somebody used that phrase with you in the workplace, would you judge them?
No.
No?
But
Then I've definitely been judged.
What would you say? Would you call them out on it?
No, I would get it because I would understand the expression.
Okay.
If they used that expression, I would not call them out. If they said tomato, tomato, I would call them out. If someone said tomato to me, I would say, "What did you just say?" And then we'd have a conversation about it.
Okay, but let's say they're from London,
Okay.
and they're just talking about their tomatoes.
They do. You know what word the Londoners use is?
What's that?
What is it? Whilst.
Whilst.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one gets me every time.
You don't like it?
Oh, it just frustrates me so much.
Using
Yeah.
it? How do they use it in a sentence?
The same way that we use
Wow.
while.
So whilst you were down the hallway,
Yeah.
I was eating a potato.
There you go.
How do you feel about Bob's your uncle?
Wait, what?
I don't know. I mean, I've heard it. I don't know what that means.
As again, to all our people of British origin, please forgive me if I'm butchering your beloved phrase. The phrase "Bob's your uncle" is sort of like at the end of everything, and you've done all this, and Bob's your uncle, and it's like it's a way of sort of saying that it's sort of over and done with, as I understand it, which I think is a very fascinating phrase. Even if I'm misinterpreting it, I still love when people say it because I just find it to be so jaunty.
Jaunty.
I mean, look, here's the
How do you feel about
reality.
people who say the word jaunty, Paul?
I mean, I don't say jaunty. Do you say jaunty?
I don't say jaunty.
Maybe we should get it out there.
But
Start using it more.
I have to sort of one disclaimer. I'm from the South, so I've got a lot of weird sayings and things in my head that I grew up with. So, but I can't judge anybody's speech. So I don't know.
If each of you are having to hire a person to work with you, who knows what it's for? I mean, it's whatever. And you know that you've met all three of these people, and one person says potato, potato, one person says tomato, tomato, and one person says Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
And you know that these people are going to be using these phrases constantly.
Okay.
Who do you choose to be your next employee on your team?
Well, if one's saying potato, potato.
No, they're saying potato.
Oh, okay. I
They're-
thought they're saying both words at the
No,
same
no,
time.
no,
I was
no.
like, that's weird.
They're always saying potato.
Oh, okay.
And by the way, you can't call them out on it. Like
Okay.
you can't, like Mitch. Like you can't. HR is going to get mad at you. You
true.
can't
Yeah.
tell someone it's wrong.
Okay.
Who are you picking?
I mean, I'm probably going with Bob's your uncle guy because he's probably saying those words anyway.
Because you're looking for a jaunty employee.
And he's probably saying potato, potato, tomato, tomato, and Bob's your uncle all at once.
I'm going to pivot. I actually think that guy's pretty interesting now that I think about it.
Which guy? Which guy? The Bob's your uncle?
Yeah, I think that guy could be a fun guy to have around the office. So, yeah. I mean, I'm still going to have a conversation like to learn what he means by that. But that's a fun dude to have around the office.
What do you think his name is?
Sebastian,
Sebastian.
Wow.
Sebastian.
right?
A lot of
Seb.
dudes named Sebastian these days.
I don't think there's many
Oh,
people
yeah.
I
named
know a couple.
Yeah.
Really?
Owen's got Sebastian on the lacrosse team. They call him Seabass.
Interesting.
It's a fun one.
Does he like that?
He probably doesn't. We had a kid on the baseball team growing up. We called him Seabass. He got really upset, so we stopped calling him Seabass.
There was a kid I grew up with who people called Fish, and I think it's because he there was an odor, like I think he used a certain soap that made him smell a certain way. And he didn't like that either.
Oh yeah, there was another kid that we had in junior high that kind of had a, God, what was his nickname? Oh crap, it wasn't great.
Maybe he's listening. Maybe we shouldn't say it.
How about we pivot a little bit to what's the best nickname you've ever heard before? Speaking of nicknames.
Can I say one thing before
yes.
we do?
Yep.
I'm just on the 6 of one, half a dozen of the other thing. Just really quickly.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that only works if the 1 is 12, right? If I have 24 Dungeons and Dragon dice, a dice pack,
Okay.
and I have 6 of the 24 set, that's not anything like half a dozen. 6.
It's not implying that there's multiples objects beyond the thing you're talking about. Like it doesn't have to sort of fall into the category of a thing that can only come in 12s. Like if someone says I got 24 D&D dice die and so I've got 24 I don't know whatevers. It's like crap, this is math. I'm not good at this. But I understand the phrase. I don't understand why you're so hung up
Am
on
I
the
having
phrase.
like a Jessica Simpson Chicken of the Sea moment with this?
Oh, wow. That's a deep cut.
I'm with Ben. I do understand the phrase. I understand the way someone's using that.
Okay. Clearly it's just me. Clearly the two of you. But go ahead.
You've chosen to say 6 versus half a dozen. That feels like...
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I don't know. I don't think that phrase should ever be uttered.
You want it stricken from
I don't
the
think it
verbal
makes.
record?
I really don't. I think it requires way too much thought on my part.
I will say it is a clunky expression. It is.
I think it's very elegant.
I don't know.
It's like
I still don't remember how to say it properly right now unless you show me the card.
like honestly, like you need to be like, now listen here, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. That's the only way it makes any. You've got to.
Do you think it started with the Kennedys?
I think it started in the 20s. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Maybe.
Drink your Ovaltine.
All right. So before we go to the nickname thing that Mitch wanted to talk about, we all agree that Po-tah-to and To-mah-to, there's something wrong.
But Bob's your uncle's okay.
Bob's your uncle's okay. And like the Supreme Court, I will disagree, and you guys will both.
We can have a dissent.
I'm dissenting that 6 of one, half a dozen other makes any sense. And what are you two doing?
I am affirming that it makes all the sense in the world.
And are you also affirming, Mitch?
I don't like it, but I get it. How about
So
that?
it's a begrudging affirmation.
Yeah, I get it.
All right. So your question, Mitch, was about nicknames.
Yes.
And wait, before we do talk about nicknames, just for our audience that are new, as you've learned and discovered in this episode, is we tend to meander. We start somewhere. We may not always stay there. We may run out of gas. We may go into something else, and that's the value of the pivot, because we see this as a conversation as opposed to we're hard and fast about our topics. We like to be able to vary as things go, and if things are maybe have a limit to what you can actually talk about it, we'll get onto something else for the rest of the time.
You sound very apologetic, though.
Well, I just want
Are you worried?
No, I just want them to know that, like any good conversation, it meanders and we end up somewhere else, and you never know when it's going to come back around. So listen in. Don't tune out, please.
Do we have a PowerPoint presentation we can provide?
No.
Look, the beauty
Too organized.
the beauty of the format is we have no idea what's coming out of the popcorn bowl.
None.
I mean, I would have never in a billion years guessed that expression would be the topic of the day.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
That's it.
Although the minute Paul said it was a phrase with a mathematical component, I was like, oh, I know what this is going to be.
The fact that you guessed that is very impressive.
I thought it was one fell swoop. I thought we were going to talk about that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we may not get to nicknames because one fell swoop has entered the chat.
That's a good one. And I don't know what that means. What does that mean? One fell swoop.
It happens all at it's very simple. It just happens all at once, like 6 eggs.
But what is this like? Okay, in the origins of this, like what is fell as in fallen, Swoop of what?
No, he's right. The one.
Swoop of
that,
what?
The one that you bump on. What does fell mean? Right? See?
Right? A swoop of what? Is it the executioner's blade? Because that's where my mind goes.
I thought it was a bird. So I don't know.
Can I ask you a question? What's worse, that or someone that says "for all intensive purposes"?
Oh, that's horrible.
Well, I just learned that it was intense. I thought it was intensive for years.
Oh, come on,
Yeah,
man.
I
Really?
did. Yeah, I did.
Oh, no.
Were
It's
you
okay.
saying it?
That's
You were
all
that
right.
guy saying intensive purposes?
Well, because I've got a southern accent, you didn't know what I was saying. See what I'm saying?
Fair point.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Are you
Yeah.
a supposedly kind of guy?
No, I'm not that.
Did you ever ask people a question?
I did not say that. No.
What about irregardless?
Nope.
What about another one bites the doctor?
That's not a saying.
That's not a saying.
I used to think that the Queen song "Another One Bites the Dust," if you actually listen to some of the chorus,
Oh, dasta.
it sounds like they're saying doctor. No.
Another one bites the dust.
No,
I get it.
sounds like a doctor. As a kid, I thought it was "Another One Bites the Doctor." I mean, it happens, right?
Oh God.
I mean, yes, I imagine there are kids who do bite the doctor, or adults who bite the doctor.
I don't think adult. Have you ever been like that? Is that a
Do you think Freddie
dentist?
Mercury bit the doctor?
Oh,
He came from the doctor's appointment. And
But I
wrote that song?
really thought that's what was happening.
true story. That is the first song I ever remember. That song.
What, out of the womb?
No, I just know it's like that's the earliest song I can ever remember.
Okay.
I think I was like, how old would I have been when that song came out?
Well.
But the reason I remember it because I remember riding in the back of my mom's car with no seatbelt with my head like
in the way back.
in the way back
Yeah.
coming through and my brother in the right seat, my mom driving and listening to that song and singing it. I remember that. Anyway,
But you were saying dust.
I was saying dust. Yeah.
Not dasta.
Not dust.
Another one bites dust.
What? Wait.
Fell swoop. Fell swoop. I don't know what fell swoop means.
I don't either. That's a tricky one.
Like I said, I'm gonna believe, and I will probably be proven wrong. One of our viewers, please write in, call in.
They're not watching anything.
Oh well, listeners. Sorry, right, listeners.
And by the way, they might not be listening to anything
Well,
anymore.
if anyone's watching, that's scary.
Right at the moment when they heard a phrase that made no mathematical sense,
They tuned
they
out.
tuned out.
They bailed.
They bailed on us.
But if you do know the origin of One Fell Swoop and you are listening to this podcast and you do follow us on any of our socials, which include Instagram, Threads, X, formerly known as Twitter, whatever, and
I feel like you're
Blue
explaining a
Sky.
lot. I feel like you're having to explain a lot.
I do believe every episode needs to have a little bit of a review for anyone who's come in late.
I think someone gave him notes this week somewhere.
Did
along
somebody
the way.
give you notes?
No, nobody gave me notes. I'm just thinking about it from my point of view, which is if someone did walk into our podcast
Yeah.
in the middle of it and be like, "What the fuck are these guys talking about?" Which is
Don't you think they just go back to the first one and figure it out?
not if they've picked episode 4. They're already in the middle of it.
I mean, at some point we have to trust them.
I do trust them.
At some point,
I trust them implicitly.
they'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I like to
maybe.
give them
Yeah, it's a little housekeeping.
little
It's
bit of
good.
context.
It's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And now back to our regularly scheduled topic.
Fell swoop. I don't know what that is. Here's-
Executioner's axe. That's what I was going to say.
You know what? You might be right. That
I feel like it's the kind of thing that speaks to an action that is one and done, right?
Yeah, I just don't know. I'd be curious as to the
With
origin.
guillotine.
What's crazy is the English language is actually one of the toughest languages. We're born with it, so it seems normal to us. But why words are pronounced certain ways,
Structuring of sentences.
structuring of sentences, and then of course like these root words that are the basis, from hundreds of years ago that suddenly still mean something, right?
It's true.
But I mean, a fell swoop for me was always I just imagined something, moving down quickly
Once.
or all at once.
all at once. Yeah,
One
I get that.
One fell swoop.
Yeah, the executioner thing. That's interesting. That could be.
Pulling it
Does
out my
make
ass.
sense.
Totally
Does make
pulling it out
sense
my
though.
ass here. So nicknames.
Nicknames.
Nicknames. You wanted to know
Best nickname.
that we've ever heard for somebody?
Yeah, friend. Someone growing up. Seabass got me there. I was thinking about that.
Well, funny thing about nicknames, and this is something that I learned from my wife Tracy. You guys know her. The audience does not.
Right. Well, maybe you just mentioned her for the first time
Today.
Do you want to say anything extra?
She's the best.
Okay, there you go.
We've been married 25 years. I'm a lucky man.
Look at that.
She kind of opened my eyes to the notion that you got to be careful what you do in life because you never know how that one nickname, that one thing you suddenly become associated with is going to stick with you for the rest of your life. She's from college. She told me several examples of people who got branded with a nickname like Week One, and they, to this day, decades later, they still refer to them by those nicknames. Things like Yak, Shit Spray.
Shit spray.
Shit spray.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
I think I know exactly what that means.
Yeah. So you got to be careful with nicknames.
What about? I'm trying to think nickname-wise, people that I knew that had.
I had a good run of nicknames in college. My sophomore year, I lived in a house with a group of guys that the names were Dirty, Spit, Tippy, Chapulpa, and I was Yo-Yo. So that was the group of guys that I lived with.
Is there any context you can give us on why these names?
Well, I think Spit was because he dipped,
Okay.
and they just called him Spit.
Yeah.
Dirty.
Oh, dipped as in chewed tobacco, not just suddenly took off in the middle of everything. Well, because today's audience thinks of dipping as something.
No. That's good clarification. Yeah, dipped tobacco.
I'm hip with the kids, by the way.
Dirty, who was actually my roommate. We shared a room together. He was
Dirty.
dirty.
Yeah.
No, actually, he wasn't dirty, but he had dirty gray hair.
Oh.
He was gray in college. He was. I still don't really know how old he was. Good dude, but he had gray hair, so they called him Dirty. I think that's why they called him Dirty. I'm not 100% sure. Tippy, I don't know why he was called Tippy. Tippy actually passed away, but he's good dude. But I don't know why he got the nickname Tippy. Culp was Chapulpa. Wait, what did I say?
Capopo?
Chapopo.
Chacopa?
That was Culp. And I was Yo-Yo.
Wait, but what's
Why were you Yo-Yo?
what's Chacopo?
You know what? I don't know. By the way, the nickname was there before I got there.
But like it's
His name was Culp. you
Culp,
said, right?
C-U-L-P.
Chacolpa.
So Chacopa.
Oh, Chacopa.
Chacopa.
Okay.
And then I was Yo-Yo.
Why were you Yo-Yo?
I was Yo. I don't know why they gave me the name Yo-Yo. I think if I recall correctly, it was like right around the time when Yo MTV Raps was there, and I talked with my hands all the time, like rapping, like very expressive. And I used to always talk with my hands, and if you know me, I do that.
Yeah.
And they started calling me Yo-Yo when in like my freshman year when I rushed, they just nicknamed me Yo-Yo. So for my entire college career,
Because your hands were always moving?
yeah,
Yeah.
like I was like rapping.
Right.
Which I don't know.
Yo. Okay, I
Like
was
yo-yo.
thinking the toy yo-yo. You were being like yo MTV
Yes,
Raps.
there it is.
Yeah. Yo.
So yeah.
Did you end with your hands under your armpits?
I didn't. I don't know it, but that nickname stuck. I mean, till I was in
what
college
happens.
for 5 years, not 4, but 5, and it was there on the 5th year. So
You gotta be
But do you still get those emails or those calls and someone's like, "What up, yo?"
I'm 100% positive that if I went home for a football game and walked into a bar, they would all say, "What up, Yo-Yo?"
Okay.
Yeah.
I got Paulie D in college. There's still some people
before the Jersey Shore.
before Jersey Shore. I have
So you are the OG Paulie.
my screen name on Xbox is Paulie D. And there was a point where Paulie D, someone from Paulie D's camp, tried to buy it off me for him to have Paulie D as his Xbox screen name.
You wouldn't sell it.
I would not sell it.
How much do they offer?
I mean, it was like $1,000 or something.
Dude, you could have gotten it for so much
I
more.
wanted to keep my Paulie D. Meanwhile, there's a dude in Australia who is squatting on pauldavidson.net, .com, and he won't give it up. Every year he renews it. I get the little thing. It's like, fuck, that dude renewed it again. He's not using it for anything. I got net. Like, it fucking sucks.
Okay.
And he's got com. And what is he using com for? Nothing. He's not using it. Why is that? I don't know. What is he hoping for? Like, is there a point in time when he's finally going to start that e-commerce website? Like, it's never going to happen.
What do you think he's going to sell?
I mean, he's got to die. The guy's got to die for me to get .com.
Do you know how old he is?
I don't. I need to find out.
What? You know.
But here's my thing: if he's over 50 or something, 60, nothing's gonna change in his life that's gonna necessitate a .com.
Unless we all go to Australia.
Why? What
Just go find him.
So what you're saying is it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another for that guy.
I'm not saying that at all. Because that makes no sense. Okay, listen. Before we end this episode,
Okay.
I now am in the mode of explaining. I want to explain a couple things. I want to call it out for people listening. So obviously, post about the show. If you're digging the show, post about it on your own social media. Tag us. If you haven't, subscribed on Spotify or iTunes or where else? iHeartRadio. It's everywhere. Subscribe, review. That'll help us as we continue to do this show. But I just wanted to put that out there. I won't provide a step-by-step explanation, but you know what to do.
Yeah, and if you're looking for our @ handle, it's WAWTACAST. Wadacast.
What are we talking about? Cast on Twitter, Blue Sky, where else?
Threads,
Instagram,
wherever fine socials are available.
There you go. Mitch, is there anything you'd like to call out before we wrap this up?
I still have to figure out what Blue Sky is. I don't even know what that is.
I don't know how many people are actually using Blue Sky. Do we think
people do seem to like it, and they just got 1 million new users. So I think it is it's an up and comer.
Okay.
All right.
So in review, 1 dissent, 2 affirmations, and none of us want to hang out with anyone who uses the phrase Po-tah-to or To-mah-to.
But Bob's your uncle. You're our buddy.
But Bob's your uncle. Sebastian, we're here. This is Paul.
This is Mitch.
And this is Ben. And this has been What We're Talking About.